coming to you today. You'll be called on at specific times during the sermon, so I'll write it on you. Okay? Today, we're going to be talking about some definitions. And the first word, I assume you guys have probably covered it in school. Flockinus and the hill of pilification. Luke, you read the dictionary. I live my life by this one, the categorizing of something that is useless or trivial. This is in my memory banks. Okay, so we'll go with some more common ones. So a definition of coffee. Good, bad. Caffeine, yes.
With enough sugar for her.
Okay, yes. Actually, a more technical definition is the person upon whom one coughs. So you have a cougher and a coffee. One more. Eternity. Forever. Sort of like a sermon. Yeah. Or it's the last 2 minutes of a football game. There are lots of definitions. And we're going to think about definitions today of church covenant. What does it mean that we covenant together? Because definitions do matter. Ellen, can you run out and in the refrigerator is a bag. We'll need that for later on. When we think about our church covenant today, we have it on the wall. It's something that we read, especially this time of year. We usually do our covenant renewal. And think about what is it that we promise before God that we're going to do together. It's on the back of the bulletin today also. We're going to take a look at each of those articles. But to set this up, I want to think about what is a covenant. So first, a covenant is an agreement between God and those who have a relationship with God. Sort of like a marriage covenant. Each person has responsibilities. Each party is going to do certain things. It's kind of that sort of agreement. The church covenant for Seventh-day Baptists is the agreement which articulates the responsibility of all members of the church. The covenant is a solemn agreement before God and before the people of God. And so that's why we talk about in our church covenant of meeting together, of holding one another accountable. But this points back to a bigger idea of biblical covenant. One more definition. The concept of covenant between God and his people is one of the most important theological truths of the Bible. By making a covenant, God promised to bless his descendants and to make them his special people. Abraham, in return, was to remain faithful to God and to serve as a channel through which God's blessings could flow to the rest of the world. This is a neat part of a covenant. Blessed to be a blessing. Part of God's promise is, I will be your God, you will be my people, is that God blesses his people, and in turn, you're to be a blessing, glorifying God, and also blessing the other people around us. I want to be a blessing. I want to be a giver. So I've been thinking about this, what that would look like. So I have some hypothetical situations that you're going to help me with. Okay, here's hypothetical situation number 1. Say we're given an apple pie. Maybe Joel shows up at our door, Georgia shows up at our doorstep, and they say, I made this apple pie and I was thinking of you guys. And I said, well, thank you. That's nice. But keep it. I'm a giver. You don't need to give it to me. Keep it and give it to other people. And in fact, I'm a giver. And so I will send you away empty-handed. You can have some of our collard greens that the worms left part of. I'm a giver. I'm a giver, Georgia. So what do you think? Is that good? I'm a giver. Keep thinking about that. I've got more examples. Say someone comes to our house. They say, everyone in your family plays the piano. I want you to have a grand piano. Because it'll help your playing if you have a grand piano. You can really hear it. I said, oh, thanks. That's nice. That's like a $15,000 piano on your truck. Keep it. Keep it. I don't need that. And in fact, I will bless you with my own grand tuned piano. One more. Let's think about this. Because I'm a giver. I'm on a roll. Say we've been invited to someone's house, a banquet. What's your favorite food? Okay, Sienna doesn't eat. What's your favorite food? Lizzie, what's your favorite food? Pizza. All right. We've been invited to a banquet in which they have every kind of pizza possible. It's amazing. You can smell it coming out from the kitchen. And we're about ready to go and sit down, and I say, oh, it is so nice of you to invite us over, and we want to stay, but don't feed us. No, I'm a giver. In my cooler, I have some leftovers of my own creation, some of my special gumbo. It's okra, hot dogs, and corn checks mixed together. Because I'm a giver. Would you rather have that than pizza? Think about that. I'm belaboring this point. Hopefully it's sticking. How often is it that we are so focused on wanting to be a blessing that we don't allow God's blessings upon us? Think about the story of Abraham. He is to be a blessing to the world. He has to receive God's blessings. Think about our church covenant. Our church covenant is a challenge. Make no mistake, it is a challenge for us to step up and really live out God's calling on our lives. But if we're going to be a blessing to other people, we need to be willing to receive other people's blessings. Blessed to be a blessing. When we think about church covenant, I always go right to the challenge of the covenant. I like to be challenged. I want somebody to tell me, you're messing up, you're not doing enough. I like that. But if we lose sight of the comfort of church covenant, we've missed something significant. I want to think about how the covenant brings comfort to us. So we're going to do this by taking a look at Silas. There's a couple of things in this picture that are going to be important to us as we think about Silas. We were introduced to Silas last week. We're thinking about the letter of 1 Peter. And Silas is the person who was sent around to distribute it. And so, two things to notice in this picture. One is, he's holding a letter. Clever. He has a chain on his wrist. That will be important for later. And he has very good hair. That's important for later also. That's actually good looking. Okay. The letter and the chains. Now remember with Silas, he's carrying this letter that Peter had written to people who are suffering throughout Asia Minor. And Silas is sent out, but he'd also been sent out before with Paul. And with the map, we know that he'd been all through up here delivering the letter, and then with Paul, he had gone on a missionary journey across over to Philippi, and we're going to talk about Philippi today also. So we're going to be thinking about Silas. I always like to know where somebody's been, to know where we're going. So that's where Silas has been. That's where we're going. Let's read the first article of our covenant out loud together. We covenant together to maintain meeting on the Sabbath for worshiping God, and to attend to all other appointments of the church as far as practicable. Now, what is the challenge in this? Read this article in the covenant. What's the challenge? Maintain meeting. Showing up. Worshiping God. We have personal responsibility to God and to each other. And that a key purpose of the church is worshiping together. So that's the challenge. I want to think about their comfort. And here is the comfort. Josiah's been complaining that I haven't had any word pictures lately. And so I've got, they're back. They're back. Here's the comfort that is brought. Well combed. Yes. Did you notice Silas is here? Well combed. That was horrible. I thought of that one. Silas is welcoming. Remember the Jerusalem Council, in which Jewish Christians were having a hard time of knowing what should we do with these Gentiles? Shouldn't they become more Jewish to be Christian? They have a council, and through the council they decide, no, you don't need to be Jewish to be a Christian. However, we want everybody to be able to sit together, to have table fellowship, to be able to enjoy being in each other's presence. So there are some rules that the Gentiles need to keep so we can sit together. And once that decision is made, they sent a letter to welcome the Gentile believers. Guess who carried that letter? Acts chapter 15. Then it seemed good to the apostles and the elders with the whole church to choose men from among them and send them to Antioch with Paul and Barnabas. They sent Judas, called Barsabbas, and Silas, leading men among the brothers. Silas is sent with a letter to welcome the Gentile believers. So they've gone from Jerusalem up to Antioch, and then this is what happens while they're there. So when they were sent off, they went down to Antioch, and having gathered the congregation together, they delivered the letter. And when they had read it, they rejoiced because of its encouragement. And Judas and Silas, who were themselves prophets, encouraged and strengthened the brothers with many words. After they had spent some time, they were sent off in peace by the brothers to those who had sent them. So during this troubling time of trying to figure out how to solve the solution, Silas is sent to welcome people into the family. Think about this. For us as a church, Silas and Judas, how many is that? 2. Do you think that there are more than 2 people in the church that they went to? So that means more people were receiving the welcoming than were giving it. Maybe we are not the ones who always do the welcoming. Maybe it's important for us to receive welcoming people. That people who welcome us, encourage us, and spur us on. Maybe it's not always our role to do that. It's our role to receive it. Part of our church covenant is the challenge of being a welcoming person. Part of it is to make sure that we receive that comfort from other people. Do I just seek to bless others by being welcoming? Or do I allow others to bless me? That's hard because there's a little bit of vulnerability with that. We like to give the impression that I'm really good, and I'm fine, and I have everything together. I have something to give you. You really don't have anything to give me because I've got it together. Part of the blessing of a covenant community is blessing each other, not just a one-way street. So think about blessed to be a blessing. It also goes on into another article. And I want us to get into Article 3. Let's read Article 3 together. We covenant together according to our several abilities to defray the necessary expenses of the church. Challenge here. Upkeep on the church. Yeah. To bear the financial burdens, to bear the time burdens. And it takes time to do things. There's also comfort in this.
I recognize that.
You remember it. It's important to know that I've got your back. To have this idea that I'm not in this alone. The church doesn't rise or fall on me. Rises or falls on Jesus Christ. Also rises and falls, to some degree, on how the body works together. Not just me, not just one person, we. We are in this together. And there's a sense in which we work together and know each other's burdens and come alongside each other. Not necessarily just at this building, but in our lives. But when we know something is going on in someone's life, we have their back. The comfort in this is that we allow other people to know what's going on in our lives so they have our back. Think about this in the life of Silas. And after some days, Paul said to Barnabas, "Let us return and visit the brothers in every city where we proclaim the word of the Lord and see how they are." Now Barnabas wanted to take with them John, called Mark. But Paul thought best not to take with them one who had withdrawn from them in Pamphylia, and had not gone with them to the work. And there arose a sharp disagreement so that they separated from each other. Barnabas took Mark with him and sailed away to Cyprus. But Paul chose Silas and departed, having been commended by the brothers to the grace of the Lord. He went through Syria and Cilicia, strengthening the churches. Now, God brought about good with Paul and Barnabas going different directions. But this is painful. This is a painful situation. They have such a disagreement that they're not going to do their second missionary journey together. They go separate ways. Paul is on his own, and Silas goes with him. In many ways, Silas has Paul's back. Silas is very unique. He's a Roman citizen. He's a member of the Jerusalem church. He has permission from the church. He's commended by the brothers, and he has a passion. He's strengthened and encouraged other people already. Silas is in a unique place to come alongside Paul, to have his back. And he goes. That's the neat thing about a covenant community, about our church, is that there are people who are uniquely placed in our lives to have our back, who are uniquely prepared, who have been uniquely provided for. The question is, do I allow other people into my life close enough to have my back? If I put on enough of a mask or enough of a front, no one's going to know what's really hurting or where I really need help. We can kind of cover that up by making sure I've got other people's back all the time, because I've got it together. But in my own life, I'm hurting and I'm faltering because I don't let people in my community close enough to have my back. There's a challenge, but there's also a comfort. When it comes to prayer, am I willing to share the mountaintops and the deep valleys with people that I pray with? Not just the mountaintops and valleys of other people, but my own. Do I share life in small groups, a Bible study, or groups that we get together in which I can share what's going on in my life? Do I have personal relationships that are real? Someone that I know that I can share deeply with and talk about this is what's honestly going on. That's the pathway to people having our backs. I'm not advocating being a possum because they're gross little animals. I love this picture of I've got your back, in which that one is dangling is trusting someone else. Do I know that comfort as part of being in a covenant? Let's read Article 2 together. We covenant together to watch over each other with Christian love and assist each other by all means in our power, to keep the commands of God and the faith of Jesus. And this we will do by the grace of God. What's the challenge here? Watch and assist. Yeah, watch, assist, keeping the commands of God. And this is really foundational stuff. And we know this challenge. I hope we do. We get a lot of sermons on this challenge. I think about the comfort found in this part of the covenant. This is where I insert a clever, catchy handout. Okay. You hand out some on the other side. You were going to hand out some. Here, okay. This is the clever, catchy handout that's coming to you. This is going to take some explaining. Lifesavers and mild torture. Remember the story in Philippi? Paul and Silas were on a missionary journey, and they healed a slave girl of demon possession. Her owners didn't like it, and they ended up in jail. And they got beat, even though they're Roman citizens, which ended up to be a big no-no. This is what happened after their beating. And just as a reminder, we've now traveled, we're no longer over here, we're up in Philippi. This is what happens. About midnight, Paul and Silas were praying and singing hymns to God, and the prisoners were listening to them. And suddenly there was a great earthquake, so that the foundations of the prison were shaken. And immediately all the doors were opened, and everyone's bonds were unfastened. When the jailer woke and saw that the prison doors were open, he drew his sword and was about to kill himself, supposing that the prisoners had escaped. But Paul cried with a loud voice, "Do not harm yourself, for we are all here." And the jailer called for lights and rushed in, and trembling with fear, he fell down before Paul and Silas. Then he brought them out and said, "Sirs, what must I do to be saved?" And they said, "Believe in the Lord Jesus, and you will be saved, you and your household." And they spoke the word of the Lord to him and to all who were in his house. Paul and Silas were lifesavers. They saved the jailer from physical harm. The jailer was at his end. And they called out to him and said, no. They saved him from physical harm. They also rescued him from emotional danger. And the jailers are wrecked at this point. And all this comes together with saving the jailer for eternity by introducing him to Jesus Christ. Oftentimes, I think about the challenge of, I want to be a Paul, I want to be a Silas. I want to be there. And that's part of our calling. We definitely need to have that sense of challenge. But what about comfort? There are lifesavers all around you. Cleverly, everyone has a lifesaver. So there are lifesavers all around you. Think about this. Each person around us is a lifesaver. There are people around us help to keep us from harm, whether it's physical or emotional. There are people around us who will cheer us on in searching out a deeper walk with Jesus Christ. There is comfort in knowing that within our covenant community, there are people all around us who are lifesavers. It is even more comforting to experience it. It is even more comforting to reach out to the lifesavers around us. Who is a lifesaver in your life? Who is someone that you know you can reach out to in the storms of life? Maybe we're bothered to reach out now even. We're surrounded by lifesavers. One more part of this article is the life of Silas. I think of the lifesaver, and I also think of one more thing. This is supposed to be healing. The idea of, you got that? Support. A healing ointment. Remember, Paul, Barnabas, separate ways. Mark goes with Barnabas, Silas goes with Paul. In the reality of life, it would be easy to choose sides on that one. I'm a Barnabas guy, I'm a Paul guy. It's not like we're against each other, but we're not going to say nice things about each other. In 1 Peter, when Silas is going to be sent out with a letter, Catch how this ends. But by Silvanus, Silas, a faithful brother as I regard him, I have written briefly to you, exhorting and declaring that this is the true grace of God. Stand firm in it. She who is at Babylon, who is likewise chosen, sends you greetings. So does Mark, my son. Greet one another with a kiss of love. Peace to all of you who are in Christ. When Peter is writing this letter, he's going to send it out with Silas, and Mark is there with him. They're all in the same place, same time. There's healing that's happened amidst a situation that could have been horrible. And we also know that Silas stayed true to Paul all the way through. And in the end, Paul is asking for Mark to come to him. There's healing that's taken place. And that's one thing that I think Covenant Community is all about. That this is a healing place. Now, Christ is the healer. It's God's work to do the healing. We provide a setting in which that can happen. When covenant isn't just a matter of challenging, we also know the comfort that comes through healing by living out the life of the church as God's called us. When I think about covenant and think about blessed to be a blessing, I don't want to overdo my role of being a blessing or being a giver. That's certainly something for me to do, but I also need to welcome the blessings of other people who know of God himself to know what a real blessing is. I want to allow other people to welcome me into relationship, to be close enough to other people so that they can have my back, to reach out to the lifesavers around me, and to treat this